Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new Ambire community call. Today with us is Ivo Georgiev, the CEO at Ambire. Ivo.
Hi, Ella. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Quick agenda for today. First, we'll ask Ivo about all the latest and the new stuff that happened at Ambire. We will check a bit about what's planned for the future. We will cover the rewards program and all the events that we are attending in near future. But to start,
Yep.
Ivo, can you share what has been the goal at Ambire lately and what are the latest news?
Yeah. So basically, to summarize the goal is pretty much 90% of it is make a better product and acquire more users. So in that regard, I'm very pleased to share with our audience that we have crossed 10,000 active extension installations, which is a pretty big milestone for us. And I think we doubled the installations in a pretty short time, so we're all quite happy about this. So in other news, we also shipped some features. So one of the cool things that I'm really proud of is sponsored swaps. So the way this works is when you're doing a swap, if it's over a certain threshold, we are sponsoring the transaction for you. And this is not only a courtesy to the users, it's not only a transaction sponsorship, but it's something way more important. What you can do with this is you can do bridges from networks where you have no funds to pay the fee with, which is something that wasn't possible until now. So even if you don't have the gas tank, you have some token on a specific network. Now you can bridge it to a different network without any gas on that network, any funds for gas. So that's pretty nice. Another thing that we shipped is token transfer protection. So this is basically more safety features around sending tokens, improved protection against phishing as well. And something really cool is also ENS avatars. So possibly many of you know that you can use ENS to set an avatar against your address. And now we display those avatars in Ambire. So that's pretty cool, and it makes the whole experience like way more personalized and basically way more colorful, exciting, and etc. Also, another cool thing that we shipped was an idea by Vitalik, which is auto login into apps. So this might sound like a bit dangerous, but it's actually not. What it actually is you know how you have to sign a message sometimes when you have to log in to OpenSea, Fileverse, and other apps like this. Well, now you can make Ambire remember your session, which is pretty nice. For a specific amount of time, you decide on your own. And finally, we have like two very exciting updates that are more related to overall wallet functionality. One of them is our friends at Grid Plus, the hardware wallet. They have shipped EAP 7702. And even more exciting than this is that Trezor is also shipping 7702 very soon. So features like gas abstraction and native batching will become available quite soon on hardware wallets. So yeah.
What would you
That's
say?
about it.
What is the or what feedback do you usually get from the users, and especially power users? What is the main feature that people really like with Ambire in comparison to other wallets?
That's a great question, and it's probably fascinating to most people watching this to know that there's no single answer. Like everyone likes a different thing. But if I have to pick one, it's probably the gas tank, because it allows you to not care about transaction fees anymore.
And I heard that you are planning some updates regarding gas tank as well in the future. At the moment,
Yes,
you need to pre-top it up, and then you can use it to pay gas on most of the networks. I think it's supported on 12 or even more already with hotkeys. But at the moment, the gas tank is tied to one account. Will this
yes,
change in or?
yes. So one of the things that we want to ship is cross-account gas tank. So this is something that some of our competitors have, actually only Rabi that I know of. And it's quite nice because you can top up the gas tank from one account and then use the same deposit essentially over 10 different accounts, which is really convenient if you use a lot of accounts. And in Ambire, it will be done privately. So even though you use the single gas tank deposit, there will be no way for someone to tie it across your accounts, which is not only a convenience feature, but also really a huge privacy benefit because you can essentially create new accounts and you don't have to dox those accounts by putting funds for gas. And I know I've said this maybe 10 times already in the past about the gas tank and the gas abstraction features in general, but this goes one step ahead because with the regular gas tank and with the regular gas abstraction in Ambire, of course, you don't have to top up ETH or you don't have to top up native assets, but you still have to have some usable money, some liquid token on this new account in order to pay gas with. And with this new feature, this is going to be redundant as well. So you can have a completely empty account and you can still use it with the cross account gas tank. But it's mainly a convenience feature.
Yeah. How big of an obstacle do you see? Like at the moment, only hot wallets can access the gas tank. How
Okay,
about
so
other?
so that's also something that I wanted to touch upon, and thanks for reminding me. So, with the new gas tank architecture that we shipped recently, I think most people are not really noticing any immediate differences, but it paves the way, first of all, for the shared gas tank, and second of all, it paves the way for using gas abstraction even without smart account features. What this means is even on hardware wallets that don't support EAP7702, it's possible to ship such a feature, but we're still debating whether to ship it or not because it all depends on how much hardware wallets are willing to push 7702 support and how quickly this will happen. So if it gets stuck for whatever reason, then we'll probably ship this feature, and that means that gas abstraction will be available for hardware wallet users soon, regardless of whether they ship 7702 or not. But if they ship 7702, then it's quite obvious because the features that are already working for hot accounts will just automatically start working for hardware wallet users as well.
Wow, that's great news. Do you see a future where all transactions will be auto-sponsored?
Yeah, definitely, for sure, for sure. But it also depends on what you mean by sponsored, because by definition, some transactions have to be paid. But with stuff that actually holds some intrinsic value, like swaps, then sure, I think all swaps should be sponsored because when you're making a swap in, let's say, Revolut or any fintech app, you don't see like this breakdown of, okay, I'm paying this much to the market maker, I'm paying this much to the system, I'm paying this much as a processing fee or whatever. You just see like one singular fee. And this is essentially our vision for the future of those operations.
Okay, sounds exciting. I think we can move to the next point. So,
Sure.
what can we expect in near future? You have been sharing some hints into some new extensionary designs.
Yes. Okay. So we're working on three very, very nice things. So one of them is a redesign of the dashboard. And we've been getting this feedback quite not really a lot, but sporadically, let's say, that the dashboard is a bit too cluttered. And we actually agree on that. But it's also very functional. So We spent a lot of time and effort and design focused thinking into redesigning the dashboard in a way that it will not be cluttered, but it also won't lose any significant functionality and it will remain functional. And also, it will remain distinctive with the Ambire design language and the whole design philosophy. And it would not look like yet another copy paste of a wallet because when you take like five of our competitors and put them side by side, they all look the same. So yeah, the new dashboard will be distinctive, but it will also be simple and it will also be functional. So we're really excited about this, and I promise you it's going to be amazing. And one more thing that we get as a benefit pretty much for free from this redesign is that it's also way more compatible with mobile devices. So the same code base is gonna pave the way for the next generation Ambire mobile app. And yeah, as I said, this is thanks to the simplification, thanks to the new like design refresh in general. So yeah, we're super excited to ship this. And there's two more things that are also quite big. One of them is support for safe accounts, which may sound on the surface like a simple, not a simple, it's not simple in any way, but it might sound on the surface like an integration, but it's actually not, because by supporting safe accounts, we open up the door for social recovery, better social recovery features. And we also open up the door for a new style accounts where instead of having to back up a private key or instead of having to write down a seed phrase or anything like that, or how some other wallets do it to back it up in the cloud. Instead of this, I will just set up an account which is a multi-sig between my laptop and my phone, and in that way, it's a secure account. It's an account that's easy to recover, and it's an account that requires like less attention in terms of backing it up. So basically, it opens up the door to social recovery and to like the true promise of account abstraction from a few years ago. And finally, again, we have to mention Kohaku and everything that's going on at the Ethereum Foundation. So as you may know, they forked Ambire to build a privacy-focused wallet, and most of those privacy features will be backported into Ambire. So the thing that we are probably starting with is private sends and private accounts. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that we are cooking at the moment.
Cool. I would like to circle back just a little bit to the mobile app because we've been hearing a lot when mobile, and so on. What can we initially expect, or what is the feedback that Ambire users actually want when using a mobile wallet? How do you envision it?
So that's a good question. I'll start unpacking it. Basically, most of the requests are simply when mobile. No one really goes into detail by default in terms of what do they expect from the mobile app, but basically through some deeper research, what we found is that there's a couple of things. So first of all, people definitely 100% want to use their mobile phone as a they want to have the capability of tracking their portfolio, so as a portfolio tracker in a way. So that's one very basic thing that people want and expect. Then the other thing is, of course, being able to sign transactions. But on the first stage, let's say that the most important things are being able to transfer tokens. So like me being able to send you tokens or being able to swap. Because the two big mobile use cases at the end of the day that people want are basically payments. That's a really good fit for mobile, and also spontaneous trading. So like something is falling and you're at a conference and you can use your mobile device to do whatever, to either buy or sell or whatever you want. So the point is, transfer and swap are like the core use cases of mobile right now, and connecting to dApps doesn't seem to be that important, and it seems like while some people are requesting it, some people want it, it doesn't seem to be like a very, very main thing that people want, because connecting to dApps on mobile is kind of a compromise. Um, what I mean is you either have to use this architecture of Wallet Connect where you still interact with the dApp on a PC, on a laptop, or you have to use a mobile browser, and most dApps are not really built to be that smooth with mobile browsers. So it's really kind of a compromise. So yeah, we'll definitely be starting with like basic built-in stuff and not dApp connections, and maybe add dApp connections later on. And also another very core part of our vision is using the mobile app as a co-signer for those magic simple safe accounts that I mentioned earlier. So you would have like a very fintech-esque experience where you do something like a very important transaction and you initiate it on your laptop, and the mobile app on Ambire on the mobile device says, "Please confirm this transaction."
Cool. And from the initial designs, it also looked like the balances in the mobile or in the new extension design look consolidated.
No, great point. Yes. So, as you know, and as we've been teasing for a little while, we are also working on interoperability, right? So this is stage one. This is like the visual, the optical interoperability where we consolidate all balances visually. They don't have consolidated behavior yet, but instead of seeing like 5 different USDCs, you would see one. So yeah, this is part of the new design.
Cool. And circling a bit back to the Kohaku, how would you
Mhm.
describe Kohaku in a sentence or two? Because quite often on socials, I think that a lot of people think that this is a completely new wallet, a production wallet that
Mhm.
Ethereum is
Mhm.
designing and so on. Can you break it down like in a simple 1 or 2 sentences on what is the aim
Yeah,
of the whole Kohaku project?
Yeah, I would say that it's a development wallet based on Ambire, designed for developing cutting edge privacy and potentially interoperability features. So it's really a way for the Ethereum Foundation to push the boundaries of what's possible, but it's all designed to trickle down to mainstream wallets. So it's not designed to be a standalone product. It's not designed to be a protection wallet. It's designed to be a development ground for stuff that will eventually land in Ambire, in Ruby, in MetaMask, etc.
Cool, awesome. Thank you for this explanation.
Yeah, if you remember, by the way, Polkadot had kind of like a devnet slash testnet slash mainnet called Kusama. This is kind of a similar name and similar thing. And they created this hybrid between a real network and a testnet where you can actually use it for real stuff, but it's not recommended because it's very experimental. So yeah, the analogy is kind of there.
Are there any like timelines on when we can expect some Kohaku action?
So really, yeah, I would say by the end of the year and maybe optimistically by summer. But the Kohaku action won't really be like Kohaku action. What I mean is that it would just be like specific features that land in Ambire. There will be no Kohaku brand or anything like that.
Okay, perfect. Think we can move forward to Ambire rewards. What are the latest updates there? We know that season one completed uh, some weeks ago, and we are now deep into the season two. Can you update us on the latest things?
Yeah, so season one, as you mentioned, it wrapped up, and the reward claiming window is now open. So hurry up with claiming your rewards because we might create a governance vote to close the window. So season two is 2/3 done, but since it's not clear whether the swap target volume will be met by the original designated end of the season, if it's not met, then we will have a governance proposal for extending season two. If it's met, then season two ends with the designated rewards for this specific swap target volume. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And the whole thing about rewards that we love so much is the flywheel effect, because the whole point of rewards is to bring in more users, but more users generate more swap volume. More swap volume generates more buybacks, which does two things. So first of all, it makes the token appreciate, and second of all, it gives the DAO treasury more tokens. So both of these things again close the flywheel and lead to more users, because because an appreciated token will mean, first of all, more organic interest towards the project, but second of all, it also contributes to having larger rewards in the next season. So again, this allows us to essentially speed up the flywheel and make an even better reward season that brings even more users, etc., etc. So yeah, it has a built-in flywheel effect. Um, that's pretty much the concept, and that's pretty much where season 2 is headed, because season 2 is based on the actual swap volume. So yeah.
And we've also been building a token transparency board, which will nicely show the whole flywheel effect and how the wallet ecosystem also works. How do buybacks work, and the whole system behind them?
So yeah, at the moment it's very like freestyled and fluid, which is maybe part of why it needs more documentation, and part of why not everyone is familiar with it. And essentially, the way it works is we initiate buybacks under one of two conditions. So one condition would be that there will be a governance vote for the buyback. The governance vote would pass, and we would conduct the buyback. And this is in relation to the funds that are collected on the fee collector address, which is also public information. The fee collector address collects fees from the little gas overhead and the swap fees. And the second way we do buybacks is we use our own legal entity budget, so the treasury that's held by the actual legal entity, at our own discretion to buy back the token. And we've been doing this usually in periods where the markets are not that strong, etc. And this is, as I mentioned, entirely on our own discretion, but then the token goes into the DAO anyway. So this is essentially like free money for token holders and for actual community members, because yeah, it's value that goes out of the legal entity and goes directly into the DAO. So the DAO can then vote over this value. So it adds this intrinsic value to the token.
Okay. So the revenue streams are from swaps and from convenience fees from gas. Can you touch a bit more on the second point, on how exactly this works?
Which one, swaps or gas overhead?
The
So
second
okay,
one,
gas overhead. Yeah. So this isn't really that relevant anymore because Ethereum is so cheap. So like 5 or 10% overhead on Ethereum fees is basically nothing. But the way it works is essentially we have our own paymaster, and what this means is a paymaster is, to explain it very simply, every transaction on the Ethereum network needs to be paid in native. That's non-negotiable. Same goes for every transaction on any EVM network, but with the native currency of the particular EVM network. So that's not non-negotiable, right? So in account abstraction, you have this concept of a paymaster, and the paymaster is supposed to pay this native fee and get reimbursed by the user in some other way, equivalent way. The paymaster can also, of course, sponsor completely, so the paymaster can pay for a particular transaction without any reimbursement. But in order for a paymaster to be profitable, it needs to have this reimbursement. So in our case, we set the reimbursement to be a little bit higher than the actual native fee prediction. And this is to protect us basically from gas spikes, because in some cases we want to have the base fee set higher than what we expect it to be, in order to ensure very quick inclusion for the user. So since UX is the top priority, we want to ensure that your transaction gets included ASAP. So in the worst case scenario, we can lose money on this because we've set the base fee so much higher. So we do add some overhead to the amount that the user pays us to protect ourselves from such cases. But also in the majority of cases, this works as a revenue.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Almost finally, I would love to hear your thoughts about privacy and about privacy in Ambire in particular. How does Ambire think about privacy in terms of development?
Okay, so that's a fantastic question because privacy is a spectrum. And what I mean by that is that obviously we have some features that the Kohaku team is working on, like private sends or private accounts, but the rabbit hole goes so much deeper. It's like this is just the tip of the iceberg. Because you can use any normal wallet and you can go to privacypool.io or Railgun and have this private account in your regular wallet. But privacy is so much more than that because for a wallet to be truly private, it needs to minimize the parties that it exposes data to. And most wallets are terrible at that. And in Ambire, we've always built with a philosophy that's radically different. So most wallets, what they do, they need a feature, they use the easiest to integrate provider. They just reach out from a bin of providers, so to say, and they pick the one that's most like easiest to integrate. This goes for simulations, for phishing protection, for other security features, even sometimes for address resolution and like stuff that you can do on chain, not on chain, but information that you can pull off the chain directly. They use APIs to get that information. Same goes for user balances. So like your portfolio, how many USDC you have, how many USDT you have. So all of this can be retrieved from the chain directly, or most of those things can be retrieved on the chain directly. So we developed a framework called the data retrieval framework, but we have different internal names for it. It doesn't matter, which allows us to actually pull all of that data from the RPC directly. So why is this cool? Because it eliminates all of these vectors that might either fail or collect your data. So Ambire is much better than the competition in terms of minimizing the data that can be collected even. And the other cool thing about this is that RPCs themselves are a centralized thing at the moment, but it's very easy to swap out the whole RPC, or it's relatively easy to swap out the whole RPC for a light client, rather than swapping the RPC for a light client, but also swapping 10 different APIs with some decentralized or some privacy preserving counterpart. So we've already like minimized those things that can be privacy issues, and Kohaku is working on replacing the RPC with a light client. So when those two things come together, you can get a completely private wallet in terms of the request that it makes to the internet, basically. And there is also another thing that the team at Kohaku is considering and working on, which is private data retrieval. And private data retrieval goes one step further from light clients, because with a light client, let's say that I want to get a quote from Uniswap. The light client will know, or not know, but it will broadcast to the world that I'm requesting information about the Uniswap contract. Okay, because the light client, for it to be doing that, it needs to get from some other node the information about the Uniswap contract. And the next stage of this is being able to request some information from other Ethereum nodes without them actually knowing what you are requesting. So this is private information retrieval, and it's also something that's being actively researched.
So the future is private.
Absolutely, absolutely. But as I said, it's a spectrum and it's like tons of things. But when I say that, you shouldn't get paranoid. Like those could be attack vectors, but they are practically not always attack vectors. So just because you're using an RPC doesn't mean that the RPC is collecting your data. But yeah, we should be wary of those things.
Okay, thank you. Think we can move to the final point. Where can we see Ambire this year? What events are you planning to attend?
Okay, so for now we only have two planned events, and one of them is Denver next week, and we're gonna have two team members there, and then ETC at the end of March and beginning of April, and for ETC we're gonna be quite a big group like last time because we really love ETC in general, and last time it was fantastic. So we're also like doubling down on those efforts, and I think it's gonna be like 8 team members. So we're really excited about that one.
Awesome, cool. Final thoughts. What do you think about the market?
I didn't really believe we can go that low, but we did, and I'm not gonna say anything because I'm permanently bullish, so perma bull, and yeah, I don't think that there is anything that much to worry about, but the shakeout is much more brutal than anyone expected. And the other thing is that it kind of pushes us even further from retail for now, but this can very quickly change.
Yeah, a lot of things don't seem to match up. If you look at metrics and some network
Absolutely.
adoption and all the things, like it doesn't make sense. In the previous bears, it was like there
Yes.
was nothing, but now it feels like things are there, but the prices are just like price-wise, it's awful out there. So
Yeah, but
yeah,
this is basically the whole theme of the last 2 years that we're slowly like building more and more real stuff, but at the same time the market is not reflecting it yet. So yeah, at some point this will change, but it really needs like a deep restart, so to speak.
okay, cool. Think we can wrap the call for today. Ivo, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you everyone watching, and see ya next time.
Thanks everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.